Dallas Goedert last season, 83 targets, 59 receptions, 592 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Thoughts on Dallas Goedert?
I don't know. I struggle with Goddard. Like he catches more balls than a lot of the guys. I guess he doesn't. He's still right in this lane. Like I don't know. Like I feel like he fits this grouping. I shy away from Dallas Goddard just because I don't feel like with where I have to draft him, he falls into the end zone enough. I'm just as well off going Pat Fryermuth, Luke Musgrave, Tyler Conklin, Kate Otten, right? There is basically one touchdown difference between these guys, right? Otten had 4 touchdowns, but he had 150 less yards basically. And so there's your difference there. Um, Musgrave missed a bunch of time, but realistically, his statistical output per game was just as good as Dallas Goddard's. Um, Pat Fryermuth, we talked about him. I like him a little bit more than Dallas Goddard, honestly. So I'd tell you this guy, he's being overdrafted here at tight end 12. Um, at least as far as yes, he's going to see some targets each game, but Philly's weird, man. Like you see these games where players bust out and they have like 2 weeks of like all pro play, and then they just go dead quiet. Like and last year, the way they struggled down the stretch to be able to move the ball and put the ball into the end zone and get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, whether it was Smith or Brown or Goddard. Um, I I'm not saying that he can't have a true tight end one performance, but it's just as likely that he's tight end 15, 16, 17 as it is that he's 10, 11, or 12.
Yeah. Well, and if you break that down into a an actually weekly performance there, he's just as likely to give you. He's I really when he goes out and performs, it's tight end 2, tight end 4 on the week, like some really big boom type of weeks, and can definitely do some really good things for your fantasy position there. But he also can go out there and lay up a whole lot of tight end 20, tight end 27, tight end 29. Like there was only 3 games that were like really usable. You call it 4 games because he had one game where tight end 12, right? Like kind of right there at the tail end of what you would consider usable tight end type of performance there. And if I'm drafting a guy with the top 12 at positional pick, I'm wanting more than 3, maybe 4 weeks, right? Because I can get guys that are 6, 7 positional draft picks later and get very similar performances to that as well, right? Like I think Tyler Conklin very well may outperform Dallas Goddard this year in fantasy. Like hot take or not, right? Like that's kind of where I see that. Like if we look up the end of the season, we see Tyler Conklin at tight end 13 and Dallas Goddard at tight end 15. Not going to surprise me in the slightest.